Welcome back to the Speak Your Piece podcast. My name is Ian McNaughton, Big E. Thank you very much for joining us. We got a good episode in store. No guest, unfortunately. You're going to have to listen to my voice for however long that is. I don't know. We're going to be discussing the Patriots Jets. We're recording after Thursday Night Football. We're going to be discussing Shohei Ohtani. And we got a quick mailbag at the end that we're going to go through. So, should be a shorter episode compared to our one that we did on Tuesday with Scott Conkin. Shout out Scotty. Great hockey podcast. Go check that out if you haven't already. We basically previewed the NHL Pacific Division, previews, X Factors, predictions, all that good stuff. So, if you haven't listened to that, go check it out. Really good stuff. A lot of fun. Thanks again to Scotty for coming on and taking part in that. So, let's get down to business in this episode. Patriots, Jets, Thursday Night Football. The Jets beat the Patriots 24-3. Aaron Rodgers, 27-35, 281 yards. He got 2 touchdowns. Ty Conklin, not the goalie, the tight end for the Jets. He had 5 catches, 93 yards. Allen Lazard, Garrett Wilson each added a touchdown. On the Pats side, Jacoby Brissett, 12 of 18, 98 yards passing, 5 sacks. Not great for Jacoby. Drake May, the first-round pick from the Patriots this past year, he got his first start. First start appearance, not a start appearance, debut. He made his debut. It's been a long day if you couldn't already tell. Drake May, he went 4 of 8 on the final drive for the Patriots in this game. In the last 2 minutes. He threw for 22 yards. He got sacked twice. Demario Douglas, who I don't think was relevant at all last Sunday. I don't recall him making he might have made a tackle. Might have made a catch and a tackle Sunday against the Seahawks. I watched that game from start to finish. I don't recall Demario Douglas once. I think he made 1 play blocking or a tackle or a catch. He had 1. His name was called once, I'm pretty sure, by the broadcast of that game. I don't think he did anything on Sunday. Thursday night, though, 7 catches for 68 yards. Not too shabby. Big takeaway from Thursday Night Football, the Jets offense looks legit. Aaron Rodgers was on target with his receivers. He showed quite a bit of mobility outside the pocket, scrambling when he needed to, and just looked like he was in rhythm. He looked like, not the Aaron Rodgers of old, because I don't know if that's expected. I don't know if you're ever going to get the Aaron Rodgers of old, but definitely got a serviceable NFL quarterback, more than serviceable NFL quarterback, a good NFL quarterback is what they got tonight, which is what the Jets need desperately. And while I think that performance tonight from Rodgers and the Jets offense was good, I wouldn't go so far as to say that this team is a title contender. It's only week 3. This is New England. New England's not very good. Playoff contender, absolutely. I think the Jets, we can say they look like a playoff contender. I would still take the Bills over the Jets. I think the Bills are the team to beat in the AFC East. I have a hard time believing otherwise, especially going back to last week's game and that statement when they had over Miami. So the Bills are the team to beat, but the Jets look really good. The Jets look like they should be in contention for one of the 3 wild card spots this season. They host Denver next week. They travel to London to play Minnesota the week after. Then they host Buffalo for Monday Night Football in week 6. So it's not completely unrealistic to think that they could be 5-1 after Canadian Thanksgiving, which it seems like a bit of a stretch. It's more just in who they've played. You know, they beat Tennessee last week. They beat New England Thursday night, possibly beating Denver, maybe beating Minnesota, although Minnesota has looked pretty solid in their first 2 games. So 5-1 after Canadian Thanksgiving, it's not impossible. It's maybe not the most likely outcome. But the fact that we've been having this conversation about the Jets is impressive in itself. This is a team that has obviously struggled tremendously. They haven't made the playoffs, I think Al Michaels said, in 13 years. You know, they went to the AFC Championship game with Mark Sanchez the last time they were in the playoffs. That's how long it's been since the Jets were a playoff team. So the fact that we're having this conversation, they're 2-1, you know, nice home opener win against a division rival, prime time. It's setting the bar for what a Jets win should be like, or what this team should look like. We'll see as we get into December, American Thanksgiving afterwards, how this team plays. Where they take on the Seahawks. I think they play the Dolphins twice. They take on the Rams, who the Rams are dealing with their own injuries. But at least right now, it's early September, or late September, the Jets have something to hold their hat on, which is important. We'll see if that carries on throughout the rest of the season, if they can stay healthy. Again, I don't think a Super Bowl is realistic. I think they're a playoff team. Maybe if the dominoes fall, they could be a Super Bowl team. But, hey, really, really strong win for the Jets tonight over the Patriots. Speaking of New England, they can't block anyone on third down to save their life. Hunter Henry is arguably their best receiving threat. I know Douglas had 7 catches tonight. Henry had a really good first half last week against Seattle. The whole left side of the offensive line was out tonight. Their left tackle, left guard. So, something to be said for that. Juwan Bentley was already out. Keon White, their star defensive lineman, might be missing time after tonight's game because of an injury. I think they're a rebuilding team, and they showed it tonight to a national audience. I didn't watch their game against the Bengals. I watched the Patriots from start to finish last week against Seattle, and it definitely felt like a team that was below average, not contending for anything. They're playing for a draft pick, not a playoff spot. I don't know how Jacoby Brissett is alive after all the hits he's taken the last 5 days. He got 5 sacks tonight. I felt like he got at least 5-6 QB hits on Sunday against the Seahawks. That performance against Seattle combined with the short week this week against the Jets, I feel sorry for the guy. That's a tough situation. They got 10 days to recover, and then they have to go to San Francisco. Not great. If you're Jacoby Brissett and the Patriots. Drake May in his debut looked like a rookie, and that's okay. You're not expecting him to light the floor, light the room up. He's just learning and figuring out. Like, his first throw was nearly picked off. I can't remember if he was throwing to Hooper or Henry on kind of like a little curl. It was like a curl stick route, essentially, by the tight end. Basically, the nickel corner was reading it the whole way. May was eyeing it in there. Didn't look off the guy. It was not great. Listen, it was not great for Drake May. He looked like a rookie. He's shown that he has some mobility himself. He can make plays on his feet, which is important. He's got a good arm, a live arm. I don't know how much we'll see of him this season. I wouldn't rush him. I would keep playing Brissett as much as you can. The issue with that is that if Brissett becomes injured at some point, and hell, he might already be dealing with an injury, just with how poor that offensive line has been the last 2 games. I don't know about the first week against Cincinnati, didn't watch, but at least the last 2 games, that offensive line has been just terrible. Just awful offensive line play. So if Brissett can stay healthy behind that offensive line, I try and trot him out there as much as you can. And if not, then hey, Drake May, this is your time to shine. This is your time to roll. So that's my Thursday night recap. Pretty solid game. It was a fine game. Like, we didn't really learn all that much about either team. Like, I think what we already knew about the Jets and the Patriots before tonight was kind of confirmed. The offense was nice to see that the offense for the Jets basically could perform that way at home in front of a national audience. That's important. For the Patriots, we know they're rebuilding. They're not great. They're not going to be great. The expectations are not high. but it's managing them and it's keeping everybody level-headed, trying to stay as healthy as you can, and hopefully you get a top 5 pick by, I think it's next April or May, whenever the draft is. It's just that's the game plan for New England. The guys on the field are obviously going to try the hardest. Gerard Mayo, I like what he's done as a coach so far, but there's still work that needs to be done. So, no, don't. I wouldn't say don't watch the Patriots, but understand when watching the Patriots, it's not this is not going to be a good version of the Patriots, and this is a rebuilding Patriots. It's going to be there's going to be tough watches. If you're a Pats fan, there's going to be a lot of tough watches here in the next 3 months. So good luck with that if you're a New England fan. So, all right, let's throw it over to baseball a little bit, because today was an incredible day. If you did not hear, Thursday, Shohei Ohtani became the first 50-50 player in baseball history, with 50 home runs and 50 steals in a single season. Actually, I think as of now, he finished with 51-51. I think he's now up to 51 home runs this season and 51 stolen bases. Point is, he is the first player in Major League Baseball history with 50 home runs and 50 stolen bases in a single season. Never been done before. He is the first guy to do it. Ohtani's the greatest baseball player ever. I think that's obvious. I think that's clear. I don't think there's anybody who's topping him in all what he can do. He got Tommy John surgery before the season, and then just decided he was going to become the best hitter / base threat out there. That's incredible. This is like a side quest. This is just like a side mission that you do, because the grand mission, which is pitching and hitting, he can't do because he's got Tommy John. So he's just doing this side mission. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to hit as many baseballs into the grandstands at Dodger Stadium as he can. And he has. He's hit 50 home runs this year. I mean, his stat line today against the Miami Marlins, he went 6 for 6. He scored 4 runs himself. He had 3 home runs. He had 10 RBIs. He had 2 stolen bases. What more can you say about the guy? The guy is incredible. The guy is incredible. This season, Ohtani has already set career highs in runs scored, doubles, home runs, RBIs, and stolen bases. He's already hit career highs. He is on track to lead the NL in all of those categories, as well as slugging percentage, OPS, and intentional walks. Shohei Ohtani is the greatest player of my generation. I have never seen anybody like this. I have never seen anybody do the stuff that he is doing. He is going to come back next season, and he is going to probably pitch, I don't know, about 200 innings, but let's say 200 innings. He's going to win 20 games. He's going to have an ERA below 2, and he's going to just make everybody look stupid because he's Shohei Ohtani, and that's what he does. That's how he plays the game. I will say, I'm gonna sidetrack a little bit here. I will say, I'm disappointed that the Seattle Mariners did not give him a call, did not reach out, because they knew that they couldn't afford to pay him whatever, $700 million or whatever he's making, which, if you're Seattle, you should have just given him $1 billion, because you would have sold so many jerseys, you've had so many marketing opportunities, you would have sold so many more tickets, you would have had so many more sponsorships. Yeah. But hey, Shohei Ohtani is doing this in LA in a Dodgers uniform, which is probably it's probably what's best for baseball. At least he's not doing any Yankees uniform. And he's leaving behind a legacy that just kicks ass. Being one of the best pitchers in the league, while also being one of the best hitters. This is Babe Ruth stuff, and we haven't seen this in 100 years. Two things are fascinating to me about Ohtani is if he can, this is a smaller thing, not as big of a thing. Yeah, kind of, but not to the same level as my second point. My first point with Ohtani is I'm very curious if he can get the Dodgers over the hump in the playoffs and get them a World Series title. Yeah, they won in 2020. I don't like to use the term Mickey Mouse because I don't think that's fair. I think you in a way you take what the defense is giving you and you have to do your best to go and win. The Dodgers did that in 2020. Different set of circumstances, but they did it. Now it's time for them to go win a true, proper, real title. And Ohtani has to be the guy to lead that. Sure, they have Mookie Betts. They have Freddie Freeman. They have... The starting pitchers are actually... there's quite a number of starting pitchers who are on the IL. Kershaw, Gonsolin, I think Dustin May maybe also on the IL. Point is, they don't have the healthiest rotation at the moment. But, between Betts, Freeman, Ohtani, Will Smith, you name it, the Dodgers are incredible. And this is the team that should go win the World Series. I think they are the team to beat. We'll do a baseball playoff preview at some point here. But right now, I think it's the Dodgers' title to win. It is a wide open race, but if I was to put money on it, I would go with who I think is the best player in baseball right now, and that would be Shohei Ohtani. You can argue Aaron Judge, that's fine. I'm a Yankees hater. I'm not going to pick the Yankees, but I could totally see why most people would. But I'm going with the Dodgers. They are the team to beat, and it is basically Shohei or the highway. That is how this team is going to go. You have the biggest superstar in baseball. It is your time to win with him. You cannot waste this. Basically, you cannot be the Seattle Mariners if you're the LA Dodgers. You cannot be like the Seattle Mariners and have 80 quality starts from your rotation this year and lose 35 of them. You can't have the best player, the biggest dual threat in baseball right now, and lose to the Milwaukee Brewers. You cannot lose to the San Diego Padres. You just cannot. You can't. Unacceptable. So that's what's at play here on one level for Shohei and the Dodgers. On another level, I am curious to see if Shohei is 101. He will stand alone. In a way, he will stand alone. Nobody will be able to top the stuff that he is doing. I don't think so. I think it's very difficult to do so. It would take a special talent to do so. But that's kind of just it. Is Shohei now the guy who is going to inspire this next generation of baseball players to actually be dual threats? Is there a guy who can do this, or whose organization thinks they can do this? For long time, you're either a hitter or a pitcher. It's one or the other. You don't do both. I am curious to see now, with the rise of Ohtani, if we're going to see more dual threat baseball players, more hitters and pitchers. I don't know what the current situation is like. I just know that for somebody like Steph Curry, he completely changed how we all thought about three-pointers and shooting in basketball. He inspired a whole generation of kids like mine to go and shoot the most ridiculous three-pointers because, well, if Curry can do it, I could do it. And I want to be like Curry. And you pull up from the logo, and you miss completely. You look like an ass, but you're doing it in intramural basketball and PE. These guys now, for all the college guys or the high school guys who can pitch and hit, now there is a pathway with Ohtani to go and be that at the major league level. I'm not saying there's a college guy or a high school guy who can be Ohtani. I'm just saying there is a pathway now for them to do that. And Ohtani is the guy who blazed the trails in Major League Baseball. So, shout out Shohei Ohtani. He's only 30 or 31. Let me double check. He is 30 years old. He has still got a lot of baseball to be played. Yet he has already left one of the greatest legacies of any Major League Baseball player ever in the history of the sport. And to that, cheers to Shohei Ohtani. All right, let's round this up with a mailbag. I kind of like this podcast. This is a nice, short, easy, breezy, beautiful cover yan. I don't know. I like how short. I like this. I think this is a good length. 20 minutes is what I'm seeing right now. Perfect. If you couldn't tell, I was just killing time so I could find the mailbag. All right, so if you didn't see it, on our Instagram story at SYPPod, you can follow us on Instagram at SYPPod, we asked for basically just any TV show or movie recs on non-football days. For context, I started watching Cheers again. That was kind of my show during the pandemic that I was watching. I talked about it a little bit today in my Substack. You can check out my Substack. It's the link on my Instagram and Twitter pages, so go check out my Substack. Find me on social at Ian McNaughty on Instagram and Twitter. If you want, I can DM it to you. Happy to do that. Point is, we asked for non-football day TV show movie recs. We got a couple answers, some that are different than Cheers. Somebody suggested that we should watch The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I feel like somebody else didn't tell me to watch it, but definitely was like, hey, did you hear about this? Because this is really interesting and really fascinating. And I am curious. I don't know if I'm curious enough to check it out. I might watch an episode just to see if there's anything remotely interesting about it. But I have heard that it is an interesting show. Might not be my kind of interest, but I could be compelled if the right storyline comes along. I might give it an episode to see. Another suggestion was Peep Show. It's available on Prime. I don't have Prime, but I think I've also heard that's a show to watch, or that's an interesting watch with, I believe it's the two British guys, and it's a sitcom, I believe. I was also told to watch that. I might watch that. I think that has more Ian appeal than The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. But, there's potential. There's promise with each of those shows to a certain extent. So, and probably after this, once I flip my laundry, I'm probably just going to go watch Cheers and work on some other stuff. But we'll see. It's I guess tomorrow, there's got to be college football tomorrow. Friday, there's got to be college football tonight. Well, I'll figure that out. Anyways, thank you very much to everybody for your suggestions for the mailbag. Thank you very much for listening. Greatly appreciated. You can follow us on Instagram at SYPPod. You can follow us on Twitter X at SYPPod. You can follow myself, Ian McNaughty, at Ian McNaughty on Instagram and Twitter. Check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, wherever you get your podcasts, we're there. And we'll be back, I'm hoping Tuesday. We'll be able to drop a pod on Tuesday. That's the goal, is to record beforehand to drop on Tuesday. So expect something Tuesday. I'll make an announcement if not, but expect something Tuesday for a new SYP episode. So thank you again very much for listening. Appreciate it. Thank you for watching. We'll be back again soon. Go check out some of my early episodes. Again, we did a Thursday night pod last week. We had a great NHL Pacific Division preview with Scotty K on Monday. Go check out those episodes. Thank you again for listening. Appreciate it. And yeah, that's the show. Peace.